Happy Wednesday, everyone! Favorite part of the week, Prowess goes live. Oh, Natalie's already excited about this, already in the chats. I love, love, love it. Hello, everyone. I'm Ashley Connell, CEO and founder of Prowess Project. What does Prowess Project do? We help women who think in spreadsheets, the tech savvy, the get shit done kind of girls. We help them pivot and make amazing careers out of being an online business manager. As they're going through our training, OBM University, we then take the data that we learn from them and match them up with their ideal clients. So our goal for this live show is to constantly bring you as much OBM know-how, mindset stuff, how to start your own business, how to get clients, all of that. So we are really setting you up for success to have an amazing career as an online business manager. So today's guest is a little different than usual, and I am so excited. Like I said before, we talk a lot about mindset, we talk a lot about tips and tricks, we talk a lot about technology, but we don't talk about something that is so incredibly important: nutrition. It's paramount. It's a cornerstone. It's a foundation. And especially as busy career women, we're always juggling so many different things. So it's about time that we really focus on the foundations. And that's why I'm so glad to bring our guest. But real quickly, want to have an opener question so that you are adding to the chat as much as possible. Opener question is, what food can you just not get enough of right now? Doesn't have to be your favorite, but I go through a ton of waves where I'm just craving X, Y, and Z so much. And y'all, right now, mine are nectarines. It is unhealthy, the amount of nectarines that I'm putting down in my house right now. It is quite alarming. Veggie tacos. Okay, cheese of any kind. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So good. Wonderful. Okay, y'all, we're going to get to the core. I am going to bring up peaches. Angela, nectarine, peaches, girl after my own heart. I am going to bring up our guest for today, Hannah McKitrick. Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Good. I've been so excited to have you. Really, we don't dive into the subject very much. So again, it was when you were like, hey, this is what I can bring to your audience. I was like, yes. Amazing. But before we get started, can you give us an overview of your career or whatever aha moment you had to get you to being the kitchen psychic?
Yeah, totally. No, I love obviously the topic of food and health, especially as entrepreneurs and people in business. Nurturing our body is imperative for our success. And I like to help make that process really fun and seamless and intuitive. And so my kind of aha moment was when I went on my own healing diet to heal some autoimmune disease that I have, Crohn's. And it was so rigid and so soul sucking that I needed to find a different balance that incorporated joy and fun and flavor with the health and with the healing diet. And so that's kind of how I created my own intuitive health, was combining the physical nutrition with the emotional nutrition and soul nutrition, I call it, so that it felt light and easy and actually able to sustain. Because again, like as busy business people, like we don't want to be doing something that's dreadful, right? Like I just think that life is too short for that.
I could not agree more. Someone tried to explain to me what counting macros was. I had no, huh?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, no,
No.
I definitely don't, I personally don't resonate with that because, we as human beings, we can't really be systematized, even though people think that sometimes diets will help do that, but we're not it's not black and white, and food is very connected to emotions. And so I think you can't really negate that fact, you know?
I completely agree. So when when you're saying like the okay, yes, you have the hunger aspect and yes, you have the nutrition aspect, but when you say emotional, speak more to that. What exactly are you touching on here and how have you seen it really help people or help them think differently when it comes to nutrition?
Yeah, totally. So what I do is I teach virtual healthy cooking programs and membership and run retreats in Italy. And I create throughout that process, I created a 5-step process to help people kind of nurture their emotions with food while also nurturing their physical health. And I know you work with a lot of people who love systems and love processes. So, do you think it'd be helpful if I shared that? Okay.
Please. Yes, I think that that would be incredible.
Okay, so 5 key things when you want to account for your physical health, emotional health, and soul health when it comes to food. And so the first one is simple nutrition. And the way that I define this is by vegetables and whole foods. So one word ingredients. And by distilling it down into that simplicity, it helps to remove the overwhelm from your mind, which helps to ground you and calm you. And same with the food. The food helps to give you that vibrancy that we all crave. Our physical bodies do crave that. And so that's step one. Step two is bringing flavor to that. And this is like really where emotions can like have a field day because I tell people, you know, if they have a choice between eating a greasy slice of pizza or unseasoned broccoli and salmon, I would rather them eat the pizza because you know, like if your emotions are in rigidity and shame and strictness, it lowers your vibration and slows your digestion. It increases your cortisol, and you actually can't process the food as well. And the opposite is true. When you're bringing this joy and excitement into your food from flavor, it helps to speed up your digestion and you're more in harmony with what you're eating.
Really? I
Yeah.
had no idea.
Yeah, the mind-gut connection. Mhm.
Oh, that is fascinating. So I want to make sure that I understand what you said. When you are enjoying food, basically it works harder for you. Like you get more
Your
out of
digestion.
it.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yes. That yeah,
Huh.
100%.
I
Yeah.
had no idea. I thought it was kind of like whatever goes in.
No,
You
it's,
try
yeah, because it increases your pleasure hormones and it allows your digestive tract to relax and actually be receptive to what you're giving it.
fascinating.
Yeah,
Oh my
totally.
gosh. Okay. Wow. Okay, that's gonna change so much how I already think about food. Okay, that was two. Let's
Yes.
hear.
Okay, and then the next step, number 3, is routine. And
Mm,
it's creating a routine out of the simple nutrition and the flavor so that you don't have to recommit to trying to be healthy every day. It's just incorporated naturally into what you're doing, into your habits, so that it becomes more automatic and effortless without having to overanalyze it. And that also helps to ground your energy without overthinking. Um, yeah, Holly, totally. Ice cream
Ice
for
cream for dinner.
life is short. Well, actually, and so that brings me to step number 4, which is flexibility. And as I
Mm,
mentioned, if you're bringing rigidity into your food, food is energy and it holds the vibration. So if you're bringing that into your food, it will bring that to you and create a ripple effect that you don't want. Versus if you allow yourself flexibility, like, okay, it's summer, I'm going to have ice cream for dinner, then that creates freedom within your energy field. And when backed with the simple nutrition, it really can coexist in a way that allows that sustainability. And I'm speaking from someone who, as I mentioned, I have Crohn's disease and I haven't had a flare up in 12 years. And I have totally had ice cream for dinner, you know?
Yeah.
I also like had a smoothie for lunch. And so it's balance, but a bit more systemized balance. Um, and then the final step, step 5, is cooking with all of these steps. And cooking is my expertise because what cooking does is it helps to create an embodied experience where you can remember, your body remembers on a cellular level how to incorporate all of this healing nutrition. And not only that, but the act of cooking helps to shift you out of your head and into your body and into the present moment where you can be receptive and connect more deeply in partnership with your food and create that harmony and synergy within yourself. And so cooking helps to ground the shift into you on a deeper level.
That is so interesting. Again, I've never thought about it like that. And so I'm so curious, do you have any examples of massive shifts that you have seen in people that you work with from, hey, it could either be like, I feel like my routine is out of control, or it could be like, hey, I am so rigid, I am making myself miserable. Like, what have you seen happen?
Oh, totally. I mean, even a lot of people will think that they're doing something wrong if they can't eat perfectly, right? And that's a complete myth because there is no perfect way to eat because everyone is super different. And so what they'll
Mm.
working with me is almost permissioning themselves to follow their intuition when it comes to food and when it comes to what they're craving, like peaches, for instance. It's like permission to eat more of those. And even one client, she started working with me and was also dealing with all of these autoimmune stuff. And just by stepping into the virtual kitchen with me and stepping into the joy and excitement around food, all of her inflammation labs went down to 0. And that was just from an energy shift around her food. Um, and then the last example I'll give is people don't realize how delicious healthy food can be and healing foods because a lot of my all my recipes are really a lot of it, it's basically just vegetables and grains, which sounds boring, but like last night, for instance, we made summer tacos, grilled veggie summer tacos. So it was roasted zucchini and summer squash with all of these taco seasonings with caramelized onions, peppers, and
Yeah.
corn, a chipotle sauce, and then drizzled with a Greek yogurt herb sauce. And so it's like no boring food, tons of flavor. And so what they find is like, oh my God, I'm craving this. I can't wait to eat this food. I can't believe it's healthy. And I can't believe my teenage son is even eating it, you know?
Yeah, that was my first thought. I was like, in a perfect world, yeah, this would be great. Like I could make myself some veggie tacos, but my toddler would throw it across the room. But now, when you just described that, she would be all over it.
Yeah, totally. And it's not complicated, right? Like all of those ingredients like you could literally get at your local farmer's market and it's just having the accountability is kind of one of the roles I play with people because we can all Google a recipe, right? It's not
Totally.
rocket science, but it's like actually putting pen to paper. It's like signing up for the yoga class, right? Like are you really going to go do yoga in your bedroom or are you going to go to a class and like get guided in it?
Oh, absolutely. And I'll tell you, 9 times out of 10, me going to the class is a bazillion times more effective.
Yeah, yeah, because it's that live accountability that gives you that shift, and it's very similar with what I do. I give people that mind body energetic shift, and my vessel is just food, and then they get dinner at the end.
Exactly. Yeah, heck yeah.
Right?
So, is it a trial and error on what foods are going to heal what ailments in people, whether it's just being
Yeah,
super tired or like how does that work?
totally. So I'll tell you this. I'll preface what I'm about to say with that everyone's different, right? And so trust yourself, trust your experience with food. And that being said, I've studied Eastern medicine, I've studied Western medicine, I've lived my own healing journey. And what I've found to be the most congruent throughout all of those teachings uh, is the longevity diet. And simplified, it's what I mentioned before of simple nutrition, vegetables and whole foods. But what it is are gut healing foods. And so I'll list all of them. It's vegetables, whole grains, um, legumes, nuts and seeds, and fruit. And so these foods, when you eat them, will create healthy bacteria in your gut. And so each time you eat one of those foods, it actually rebuilds your gut microbiome. And so I really like this too, because if you think about it, it's not like you can't have ice cream for dinner, right? But it's just thinking of, okay, what else can I have with that that'll help build my gut microbiome? And it only
Uh,
takes 24 hours to regenerate. And so it's not doom and gloom. It's every single time you eat, you can make a difference in your gut. And so that generally speaking is a gut healing diet.
Fascinating. And
Mhm.
then like I noticed you didn't say fats. I noticed you didn't say meats. I noticed you didn't say dairy per se.
Mhm.
So are those I suspect no, but those aren't no-nos per se. They're just
No, no,
not
no.
going to heal the gut like you were
Yeah,
saying.
not absolutely. My belief is nothing is off limits. Like I
Yeah.
drink wine, I do all these things. Is it building my gut microbiome? Maybe not. But I created a lifestyle that supports that because that's really important for my emotional satisfaction. And that emotional satisfaction is very important for a healthy gut. And um, so I would say dairy and um, fats and meat in moderation.
Okay, that makes sense. So well, first, how did you get the nickname the kitchen psychic?
Well, I know your people are very systemy people, and I'm a little less systemy. And and I'll give you an example. The way that I create recipes, I said I teach a membership. I host Zoom classes and cooking programs all the time. And the way that I create recipes is by feeling the vibrations of food in my mind and what goes harmonious together. So I'm not measuring, I'm not counting, I'm feeling it in my mind's eye of the vibrations of food. And I'm pretty sure I was born with that. I've always had a thing with food. Like I love it. And I speak the language of food in a different way. Um and so
Yeah,
yeah, and so my
that makes
recipes are intentionally infused um with a certain level of healing vibrations that people then bring into their own kitchen. So it's a little different than Googling a recipe.
that is extremely different, and I love it. And what I also very much appreciate about our audience is, yes, systems, Excel, technology, absolutely. And this group is real woo-woo. So
Oh,
everything you're saying
good.
about energy and
Okay,
everything
nice.
you're yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, no, 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 don't get it twisted. This is not like black and white. No, no, no,
Okay,
no.
cool.
You're in good company.
Yeah.
Um, Fascinating.
And
Wow.
the other thing, Ashley, is like the thing since you mentioned there's a bit of woo in here, the other thing
Yeah.
that happens during class is it's an energy transmission. And so I help hold the vessel of that and transmute it into the other participants, and then they bring that into their food. And so every single time I teach a class, people on the other end are eating their food, and it's, and I'll give this example. Have you ever been to a restaurant, maybe in Italy, maybe just a really, really nice whatever restaurant, and you taste it and you're like, holy shit, this is like, and your mood gets elevated, it tastes so good, and it's like you're floating. Versus if you go to an airport and buy a prepackaged wrap, it kind of, you get a little sad, you know? Um,
Totally.
and so part of the reason that the fine dining plate is giving you this euphoria is from the love and intention and care that was infused into it. And so when people are in my class, they are able to infuse that love and intention and high vibration into the food, and it then gets digested into their system. And so it shifts their mood, it shifts their household mood. And so that's the other piece of the little kitchen psychic magic.
I love it. What was that movie? Wasn't there a movie where there was this chef and she could like put magic into the food? Do you know what
Ooh,
I'm
I don't
talking?
know.
Am I, maybe someone knows on the chat. I may be completely losing it. And if not, someone needs to write that movie and you can star in it. Or it could just be a documentary on your life. So yes. Okay, I have to know. So this isn't a um conventional career path, right? Like someone doesn't, at 3 years old, they're not like, Mom, I want to be a kitchen psychic. So
Totally.
what were you doing before? And then like how did you have the courage to be like, this is a gift I had and I'm gonna go share it to the world and by the way, charge money for it.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey, and I never dreamed that I would be leading retreats in Italy with, like, coaching and wellness and food. I never, never. But, I so before this, I had a couple different, corporate jobs, each trying to satiate one part of me. So my first one was in
Ah,
corporate sales for, a corporate catering company. And so I was like, "Oh, it has to do with food. This is amazing. Like, I've made it." And then after a year and a half, I was like, "I am bored." And so that's when I quit that job and went to culinary school in Italy. And
girl.
that was its whole other transformational experience. And I came back from there and started working at a corporate company that had to do with food and Italy. And I was on their
Hmm.
marketing team. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. It has food in Italy. But the culture was quite toxic. And my well-being was starved, my all of that stuff. And so I started getting really into yoga. And that's when um, I decided to study at the Academy of Healing Nutrition to actually learn more
Ooh.
about the nutrition piece and the healing piece and kind of why and how I healed my own gut and more of the science behind that. Um, and I got more into wellness and all of that stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then when the pandemic happened is when I was able to bring everything together with healthy cooking, Italy, retreats, coaching, self-growth, spirituality, and nutrition. And then it was just like one foot in front of the other.
That is so impressive. Truly, 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 truly. I absolutely love it. It's just such a great reminder that if you want it, you can make it happen, you know?
Yeah, yeah, it really is. And I had this journal that I got in January 2020, so it was still like,
Oh,
um,
yeah.
pre pre-pandemic, and it was, maybe like a manifestation journal. I'm not really sure the technicality of it, but basically you wrote down 10 dreams as if they've already happened, and
Ooh,
so I started writing down these dreams, and, like, the I look back on it sometimes and I'm like, "Whoa," because I was like, I run retreats in Italy, I collaborate with the Culinary Institute, like, have a website with recipes on it and all of this stuff, and, like, I never I didn't even want to start a business. I was like, no, I want to work for someone else. And then I looked back and I was like, wait, maybe I did. And so it's crazy what the subconscious is able to help create for yourself once you put it on paper and like put it into the quantum field and have the universe start conspiring
Yeah.
in your favor. That's
Yeah.
those
I know.
moments.
I was thinking too. I was like, um, well, and I suspect that because you were already so in tuned with vibration and energy, it only expedited all of your dreams coming true. Because look,
Yeah.
it's 2024, and you said that you did this in 2020. Like that's
Yeah.
4 years. That's a blip of time. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
The other thing I'll say, Ashley, is that when something is in such deep alignment for you, it can't not happen. And another way to say that is just what you're passionate about. And like what excites you is what's meant for you. That's another way that your intuition speaks to you. And that is kind of how I have created my business and how I continue to grow it, is like what feels what lights me up. And it's the reason why a lot of women actually come with me to Italy, is
Sure.
because they're just so drawn, and they're like, this sounds like the best thing I could ever do. And it's like, okay, are you going to do it then? And that's kind of the crosswords of creating a life of your dreams and kind of staying the same, which, and there's nothing wrong with staying the same, right? There's a lot of benefits from safety and security. And there's a lot of expansion that you couldn't even know was possible from following your excitement.
You said that so eloquently. I never really thought about it like that.
Mm.
Wow. I mean, you're right. I say this all the time. When I was starting Prowess Project, we have a whole tech platform, right? And I'm backgrounds in marketing. I don't
Yeah.
know anything about writing software, but
Yeah.
but as I was like going down the path, and as I was getting the ideas of putting this all together, it almost felt like the universe was making it harder for me to quit than it was to continue.
Mm.
It was like anytime I'd be like, no, I'm not going to do this. Like something amazing would happen that would catapult me even further in that journey. That
Wow.
made me know, oh, okay, this is the path. Like again, veering from the path just seemed harder and harder and harder, and I would get all these roadblocks. So it's interesting, as you said, like once you really find your thing
Mm-hmm.
and it's exciting, it doesn't really feel like work.
No, no. Yeah, it's yeah. It's like lots of words, but no, I agree. I agree.
In comparison to sitting there and trying to sell catering.
Oh my God. It's like it's a lot of hard work, but it's like it's so soul fulfilling that it's like what else would I want to be spending my time doing, you know?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. So I loved the way that you were describing like the 5 different parts, and the one that made me the most nervous was the cooking. I
Oh.
am not I
Mhm.
am not a chef. I am more of an assembler, and basically I'm good at making eggs. Like, that is it. I'll give you scrambled and I'll give you over easy. And those are the options, ladies and gents. So, how do you have any ideas or thoughts for people like me who maybe cooking, as cooking looks for me right now, does not bring me joy?
Mm. Mhm. Yes. So I have a few different thoughts. So, um, first of all, just to give myself a plug, I have a workshop coming up, a one night workshop
Oh,
that you should totally sign up for, because
uh,
it'll help you love cooking. It's called the Cook Lighter Workshop, and
what,
light
do you
meaning,
have a link?
yes, I do have a link.
Okay, good.
I'll get you that. Um, and the number one thing that I'd recommend to making you fall in love with healthy cooking is add sauces to your homemade sauces. It is so freaking good. It makes healthy food taste so good. And so, for instance, in this workshop, what we're going to be making are cauliflower rice bowls with roasted sweet potatoes, crispy chickpeas, goat cheese, and a lemon basil pesto. And the lemon basil pesto is what this dish that's almost entirely vegetables. It's all nourishing foods. They're so healthy. Cauliflower, sweet potato, chickpeas, like so good. And then it's enveloped in this bright, vibrant sauce that really just elevates it and makes it something that your toddler would like, for
Yeah.
instance.
Yeah.
So like, and you know, even if you didn't want to make the pesto yourself, you could buy store-bought pesto. And my favorite way to cook vegetables is just roasting them with salt and pepper, if nothing else. But different seasonings, I think, really help to elevate
Totally.
ordinary vegetables. And the thing with cooking is the more you do it, the more you create your own dictionary of what you like, what tastes good, and you learn by doing, right? And so, like get a little crazy, like Julia Childs. It's like light something on fire, like you know, like don't take yourself too seriously. Like use it as a playground to like get to create something that is lights you up, you know?
Totally. That's such a, yeah. You're right. I don't think of cooking with play, and why not?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's really interesting. So another thing, and we touched on this at the beginning, but I want to just directly ask. You said routine.
Yeah.
And when I think of routine, I think of, okay, make it easy. To your point, I don't have to think about it. Are there time saving tips in the routine as well? Or like, how do you think about routine?
Yeah. So routine, it's twofold. So one part is having kind of having foods that you know you like and you know are healthy and make you feel good that you can kind of pull from at any moment so that you're not each day trying to figure out what to eat, you know, because I think that can be a little overwhelming. It's like, what do I
Yes.
eat? How do I be healthy? And it's like, well, if you have 5 different, you know, staple meals, then it can help to take away the mind chatter. So that's number 1. Number 2, I just finished teaching a course called Intro to Cooking with Energy. And one thing that came out of that was, and one of my clients phrased it this way, which I'd never thought of before, but she called it a capsule wardrobe for her kitchen. And so and so what that looks like is basically, for instance, 2 different bases. So you could have a lettuce base and a grain base. And Leah said, "Can't wait to build." Totally. I love that. Um, so your base, lettuce or grain, and you can pick between the 2 on any given night of the week, and then toppings. So fresh toppings and cooked toppings. So like fresh would be tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, avocado, feta, whatever. And then cooked toppings, sweet potatoes, chickpeas, roasted zucchini, roasted eggplant, roasted any type of vegetable, butternut squash, yum. So you're already starting to kind of build your bowls. And then sauces. So I mentioned the lemon basil pesto. I also really like a tahini sauce, tahini yogurt sauce. And I have some 15-minute recipes that you can actually download on my website that have some of these on them.
Wonderful.
Um,
Wonderful.
and then that's it. So it's kind of like your capsule wardrobe, your bases, your toppings, and your sauces.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I could sit here and ask you questions for 4 hours.
And Ashley, to save you time too, like I don't cook every night, right? Like I'll maybe make a couple sauces and roast a couple things at the beginning of the week, and then the rest of the nights are just assembling.
Oh, my favorite word.
Yeah, yeah. Assemble. Yes, that's your zone of genius.
Yeah. Just a little bit of roasting and the rest I'm assembling.
Exactly. Exactly.
Music to my ears. I love it. I love it. I love it. Y'all, if you have any questions, please put it in to chat. So if there was one thing, aside from signing up for this workshop, and we're going to tell everyone how to go find you. If there was one thing just to go start, whether it's one food, whether it is one tip, whatever it is.
Yeah. I would
What would it
say this is, you're gonna be like, "Okay, Hannah, duh." But, like, my answer is vegetables. And the reason being is because we are so inundated with information. Eat this, don't eat this, eat this proportion and that proportion, and don't eat past this time. And it's so confusing. And the one thing that's not bastardized throughout all these different theories and modules are vegetables. And so how I think of it is like, say I'm going, and I'm having dinner on the beach with my family. We're getting pizza, we're getting wine. And for me, if I can have a little side salad with that, I feel like I'm really satiating my body while also satiating my soul, right? Because I'm enjoying pizza with my family, I'm cheersing wine like to the summer. And the little salad is helping to also support my gut in the process. And so I'm not counting my calories. I'm not like counting how many pieces of pizza I can have. I'm just adding a little salad and that's it. And a lot of what I eat during the week are really veggie heavy meals, like that cauliflower rice bowl or the veggie tacos that I just described. And that to me is a simple way to satiate health. And from there, I just make it taste really yummy. And so people can just make it taste yummy, get creative, make some sauces and, mess up, make a
Totally,
taco of it.
totally. The last time I used my crock pot was a massive disaster. I mixed up apple vinegar with like barbecue sauce or something, and it tasted like as you can imagine. So
Yeah.
I love that you said I could just roast something like something easy like vegetables in a simple all week. I
Yeah.
love that. Just vegetables. Just vegetables.
Yeah. Chef's kiss. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Amazing. Hannah, where can everyone find you? We have the links and we'll put them in the chat and everywhere, but tell us, where can we find you?
Yeah. So my website is myintuitivehealth.com. And I'm also on Instagram and Facebook, just under Hannah McKitrick or My Intuitive Health. And I would love to chat with anyone who is here today, even just like a DM on Instagram or wherever. I'd love to connect.
Amazing. And just so you know, this will go on our YouTube and in our podcast. And I've had so many people ask me, like, Ashley, when is Hannah coming on? When is the kitchen socket coming on? I can't make it live, but like, is this going to be recorded?
Oh.
So you're going to have a lot of people, you're going to be in their ears when they're running around and the whole shebang. This has been awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ashley. This was so great. I love what you're doing. I love how you're connecting people's zones of genius into helping other entrepreneurs. As someone who doesn't like systems, to really take the stress out, right? It's like no stress in business, no stress in the kitchen. We're all just here to have fun.
Oh man. Cheers to that. Cheers to that. Well, thank you everyone who was with us today and who's listening to the replay. If you liked more of everything that Hannah's saying about nutrition, do go check her out. And because I'm sure that she has just like got the little top of the iceberg and there's so much more. And also we are having a free masterclass. It starts on Monday. That is all about how to be an online business manager and what that could look like for you. We are redoing it this time. So it's going to be very different and more woo-woo than usual. So yes, exactly. Exactly. So we put the link in the chat and we'll have it on all the show notes. Thank you all. And we won't be seeing you next week because of the masterclass, but we will the following. That one is all about money. So we go from food to money. Gotta love it.
Love it.
Yeah. Bye, y'all. Have a good one.